Today I'd like to walk you through a demo of Torus. If you're not familiar with Torus, it's OLI's next generation course delivery platform, and it's hosted here at proton.oli.cmu.edu. If you haven't created an account, you can go to this site here and create an account directly. I already have an account, so I'm just going to sign in with Google here. And you can see that I'm taken to my list of projects that I'm working on or I've previously created. We're going to create a new project for this demo. We're going to call that project Matrix Algebra. Okay, and you can see that I'm taken to a details page here of my new course. I can change details about this course like the course title, the description, and I can also invite others to come collaborate on this course with me just by entering their email and hitting send invite here. They will receive an email, and if they don't have a Torus account, they'll be able to create one, or they can just use an existing one. Coming over here to the left, you can see I have a few different sections for options here. I've obviously got my account where I can manage my account information. I can go back to that projects page that we were just at and navigate to my different projects. But taking a look at these three sections down here, I have create, publish, and improve. And this kind of goes along with the way that courses are created over time. So initially I'm going to create my course here. I might create some objectives and then create the course curriculum. And then once I'm done with my course, I'm going to publish it so that instructors can use it in their sections and students can access it. And so I have some options for review and publish here. And then I can actually see how students are performing in the course. And that's done down here in the improve insights. So let's hop over to the objectives section here. If you're not familiar with learning objectives, take a look at the Eberly Center guide. They've got a lot of examples out there, and it explains why learning objectives are important. So to get started here, let's create some learning objectives. And I'm going to hop over to some notes I've been taking about this course that I'm creating. So I've got some learning objectives here. I'm just going to copy and paste them over here. So I've created two learning objectives that I can now use in my course. So let's go over to the curriculum. And in the curriculum, you'll see that there's really three different options I have here. I can create a practice page, which is an ungraded page that's going to contain some materials that I want my students to read or interact with. And then I can create a graded assessment, and that's actually going to grade the activities within that page so that I can send those grades back to an LMS or use those grades to get insights about how students are performing. And then I can also create containers and create a hierarchy to my course by creating a unit and eventually a module and section. So let's just create a unit, and we're gonna call it Unit 1 here. And if we go into Unit 1, we can create a practice page. So going into our practice page here, let's change the title to something a little more useful. And we'll just call it matrix multiplication. Now looking around at what we have here, it looks like we can create some content. You can see that I can simply type into this box here, and then I also have the ability to add more rich content like a table, a code block, images, YouTube, audio clips, and a web page. So hopping back over to my notes here, I've already just created some notes about what I want this content to be. So I'm gonna actually just paste this in here for the purposes of this demo, and maybe we'll make it look a little bit better here. I believe I also had a YouTube video here that I wanted my students to go watch. So I can actually add that YouTube video just by clicking this icon here, and I'm going to enter the URL, hit insert, And you can see that my YouTube video shows up right in line with my course. So let's say that I'm pretty satisfied with my static content here, and I want to add an activity for practice. So I'm going to click Add Content or Activity, and I'm presented with a menu where I can either add another content block, multiple choice, or single response. Let's do a multiple choice. And I'm presented with a dialog that's going to ask me, what learning objectives am I targeting here? And so this is a key part of course design, as I actually want this activity to target some learning objective that I'm later going to assess. So I'm going to select this solve problems using matrix techniques and algorithms here. Okay, and you'll see that my activity actually shows up right here in the editor. I'm actually presented with a live preview of my activity as well. It's not very interesting right now because I haven't added any feedback or content to it, but you can see that I can interact with it, and I'm actually getting the view of what a student would see with this activity. So let's actually edit this multiple choice activity and add some content to it. So taking a look here, I have a few steps that I have to go through here. I have to create a question stem. And to add a reference to what this is actually asking about, I'm just gonna add an image. I'm gonna hit upload here, and I'm gonna select matrices A, B. This is the image that I want to use. So you'll see that my image here is uploaded to our course media library, and now I can use it by clicking the insert button here. So this question is asking, is it possible to multiply matrices A and B? And I have my matrices A and B here. And for our choices, I'm just going to say yes or no. So coming back to my notes, I have a little bit of feedback I want to give depending on which answer they selected. So it's good to give feedback to explain why the selection was correct or incorrect. So for a correct answer here, which is yes, I'm going to paste this feedback saying that we have a matrix C that can be multiplied. Hints are another way to nudge the student if they get stuck on a problem. Typically, you'll start off with a hint that kind of restates the problem. Then you can add as many cognitive hints as you want that kind of step the way through explaining how to solve the problem. And then finally, there's a bottom-out hint that's going to pretty much explain the answer to the student. Okay, so I'm pretty satisfied with my activity here. I'm going to head back to my page, and taking a look here, you can see that the activity that I just created is live, and I can actually view it and interact with it here. If I click yes, I get my feedback that I defined, and that looks pretty good. So one other note that I want to make here too is that when I'm satisfied with this page and I want to see what this page is going to look like to a student, I can actually click this preview page up here, and you'll see that that it's formatted in the way that the student's going to see, and this is basically my page. All right, so that looks pretty good. And let's hop back over to our unit here. And now I want to create a graded assessment so I can assess this learning objective that I provided some practice for. So I'm going to click Add Graded Assessment. Matrix multiplication assessment. And you can also add more content to give context to this assessment. I'm going to skip that though and just go ahead and add an activity here. I'm going to add another multiple choice targeting that same learning objective. And if I go into edit here, you'll see that it's the same interface that we had before. The only difference here being is that this is going to be a graded activity because it's inside that graded page. So going back to my notes, let's ask a slightly different question here to see if the students really understood the content. Okay, and we can we can now reuse this image because it's already in the media library. So I'm going to insert that. Okay, and I think that looks pretty good. So we'll hop back out here. You'll see that there's my activity. And let's say that we do this for a few pages and learning objectives, and now we're ready to publish our course. So taking a look over here to the publish, we can do a quick review, which is going to be some automated steps that the system's going to take a look at our course and try and identify any issues that we might have. So if I click that, you'll see that I have some accessibility issues here, like missing alt text for that image in the multiple choice, and it looks like they're all missing alt text, but I'm going to ignore that for now. Typically I would want to fix this, but just for the demo I'm going to ignore these and head over to publish, and you can see that we haven't published this yet. But if I go ahead and click publish, so now my course is published and it's actually available to use from an LMS. So let's hop over to a Canvas instance here, and I'm going to log in. So here's my course in Canvas, and if you've configured Torus using LTI 1.3, you can actually add it to the course navigation menu over here. So I'm going to click into that, and I'm presented with some getting started options here. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll just link my authoring account here, sign in with Google. Okay, and you'll see that I'm actually presented with my courses here, and here's the one that we just created, this matrix algebra. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to go ahead and continue, and here's my course. So taking a look at my course here, you can see that I have the pages that I created. I have that ungraded practice page, and then I have that assessment. So I also, as an instructor, have some extra options here too, like manage grades. So I can hop over here and manage grades, and one of the things I can do is I can update the line items, which is really the gradebook columns, based on the assessments that I have in Torus. So if I click this button, now I can go over to the grades tab, and I can see that this matrix multiplication assessment tab is here now too. So let's take a look at this from a student view. I'm going to log in as a student. And here's that course that I'm a student in. And if I access Torus, hopping into my course here, starting off with this ungraded practice page, I can actually read the material and watch the YouTube videos, and I'm presented with that practice activity as well. So so I'm going to go ahead and click yes, and there we go. I'm presented with some feedback here. So moving on through the course, here as a student, I'm presented with an assessment, and it's a graded assessment. It tells me how many attempts I have remaining, and when I'm ready, I can start this attempt. So let's go ahead and start this attempt, and maybe I'm a little confused, so I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, these can be multiplied. Submit that assessment. Okay, and it's telling me how many attempts I have left, and I complete the course. And when I go over here to grades, you'll see that that grade actually has showed up. And oh no, I got a 0 because I didn't quite read the material well enough. So if I go back in and I retake this assessment here, okay, I'm going to start my my second attempt. And now I've read the problem a little bit more clearly. It's saying B and A, and I've reread the material. So I'm going to say no, those matrices cannot be multiplied together. Okay, and I can go back over and you'll notice that my grade is just updating as I work my way through the material here. So coming back over, as a course developer, I may want to make some changes to my course over time, And even though that course is being used, I can still go in and add some more content here. Like maybe I add a new page, and we'll give this page just an example activity targeting that other learning objective here. So I'll make changes to this course, and if I hop back over to publish, you'll see that it's actually tracking the changes that I've made. Now these changes won't be live until I click publish, but as soon as I click publish, you can see that hopping back over to my LMS, if I go into Torus, there's that new page that I just created. So we have the ability to update our courses as easy as a click of a button here, as a course developer. One more thing that I wanted to point out too with Torus, as hopping back over to my instructor account here. In this Manage Grades tab, I actually have some other options as an instructor to manage grades related to this course. So I can actually select a specific assessment that I want to resynchronize the grades for, and I can also download a CSV file of the gradebook. So there's something to keep in mind if you need some more advanced functionality related to grades coming from Torus. So I hope you've enjoyed this demo. I hope that there was some useful content in it. And if you get a chance, hop over to proton.olat.cmu.edu. It's easy to create an account. You can use a Google or a GitHub or your email. So thanks for watching, and we're really excited to see what kind of courses you can create.